let's just go into it. So this is going to be just like kind of little casual um, list. But first thing is I'll go into the positive. First thing to notice is that um, this can be a positive and a negative. But in the United States, there is there is such a bountiful choice of food here compared to Japan. Um, there's just far more available for far cheaper. If you really had your nutrition on point here, you could easily eat in abundance and in peak health for not paying that much, to be honest with you. From what I've been seeing so far, is like I went to the grocery store and just the abundance of fresh fruit available at such a cheap price. Fruit is very expensive in Tokyo. Not very expensive, but like, for example, if you want, I love cooking with lime. I cook with a lot of acids, and lime on jasmine rice is something I personally enjoy. And one lime in Tokyo is $2. So I'm from Florida, so here you can get 10 limes for $1. So the disparity in the price is large enough to notice and make you kind of raise an eyebrow to an extent. However, there are so many. That's me just being really, really a stickler about eating healthy, which in Japan it's very easy to eat healthy. But here in the States, there's so much good food everywhere, and there's so much bad food everywhere. So, another thing I've noticed is that like it has, I don't know if it's gotten slightly better, but it's just overwhelming how many people in the United States are either obese or overweight. And most people seem to have this concept normalized in their minds that everybody's just fat just the way it is, or like this is normal. And of course, I live in Japan, which has the lowest obesity rate in the world. So that kind of ties into my next point, which is me like, really, I have um, compared to uh, the city of Tokyo where I live, like the amount of beautiful girls I see in Tokyo just walking around and your most common location, they're literally everywhere in Tokyo. And here in the United States, I've noticed that honestly the sexual market is not looking too thrilling right now. I've got to say, just walking around, um, I see it's like a 1 to 7 ratio for like um every 7 girls, like every 8 girls I see, 7 are just like, either overweight or unattractive, and one is like really like good looking. And that means she's like a 6 or higher, which in this country, like being a 6, it looks like it's actually like something of value compared to Tokyo, where it's like the land of sixes. Like the most average girls are just all a 6 or above. And so here I've just noticed that I can see why some hot girls act like their doesn't stink, because being attractive is actually a currency here, like because it's more rare than it is abroad. So but one thing I've noticed for the guys is that um dude, I just gotta call it how it is. Most guys that I see are either overweight, obese, or they look soy. There's like it's like a I say it's a 80 to 20 ratio, which literally means top 20% guy. So that being said, it's not that hard nowadays to be a top tier guy in the United States. Literally, all you need to do is make 6 figures, which is not hard to do. Um, you need to be 15% body fat or lower with good lean muscle mass on top of you, and have game experience, which I still believe that American girls they give up like that. If you know what you're talking about, you're getting laid on within like the first hour, 2 hours of your date, right? They have no decency here, so they just give it up quickly. To be honest with you, that's just what I've noticed so far. Um, Another thing is that when you want to be a top tier guy here, literally what from everything I've seen, okay, and I think it has something to do with the food, because I have been seeing far more skinny, soy, or overweight guys who are also bald. There are far more people in the United States balding than I've seen in other people in the other areas of the world. And food and your hair, there's a very close relationship to what you eat and like how thick your hair grows in and your circulation and all of these things. And I've noticed that again, there's just like here in the United States, if you're a guy that can be like 12 to 13% body fat with a good amount of lean muscle mass, and like 5'8" or taller, I really think you can really get a good corner niche of your choice of the sexual marketplace. Because again, there are still some decent chicks in regards to like personality and looks, but they get scooped up quickly is what I've been seeing. Um, Another thing I've noticed is that like chicks here, it's kind of weird, but it is what it is. They're just a little bit more manly. American chicks, they are just something more manly about them. And again, that ties back to the skinny guys who are also balding. I think there's a big secret nutrition problem in the States. Like, I just think that there's a big people are eating food, but they're not getting nutrients, and it's not actually helping their body. It's just kind of getting them by. Because I noticed that there's a lot of cancer rates in America as well, and again that all ties into the food. You see what I'm saying here? So no, I was talking about yeah, there's just the sexual marketplace here is just a little bit more. You have to. There's not as there's it's slim pickings in regards to dating in America. I'm sorry, I got to say it's pretty overall, and compared to living in other places. I just it is what it is, and it's like it's not in my best interest to be even say this, but like I think that in regards to places quality girls to get, I think the United States is like probably the worst place. That being said, some of our guys, Brandon from Oklahoma, he's over in Spain now, and he's like drowning in choice. And I told the guy he would because he's a good looking guy. He's in body language mastery since quarter 2. He showed up to pretty much every webinar, and now he's over in Spain, and he's just like, good Lord, I am just, you know, I am living the dream. He's like drowning in choice over there. So that being said, if you do live in the States and you do happen to go abroad, maybe you just want to take some trips. You don't need to move or any of that stuff. Or maybe you have the opportunity to set up a few mobile offshore businesses, then or set up a digital business and then live abroad, which is even smarter, right? Because you can collect in dollars and live off their local funds, and you know you'll be in a surplus while making money, and then you can reinvest that stuff in stuff like Bitcoin or Airbnb properties is really big investment. I think a lot of people are sleeping on. I mean, the first full year of the Airbnb, we made like, good Lord, I think it made in 1 year, I want to say the revenue was 50 grand for 1 year. That's not bad. And in the amount of time you put in, you can outsource the cleaning, which is pretty doable. And then that being said, you can probably collect worst case scenario 12,000 almost passively or just texting on your phone. And those are me putting in maximum hours, which you probably could work less, and then that's also bottom lining the pay, which you could probably make more. I certainly made more than 12,000 extra, and literally it's just operated from the flick of a wrist, which is just through your phone. Never you come visually check the properties, because you as an Airbnb owner you should check the property every 2 weeks for sure, to stay on top of things, make sure the system is tight. After that, if you can set up 2 or 3 of these things, I mean, you're looking at, if things go well, you're looking at you know at least 50 grand net profit a year coming in from a very passive stream. And some people could live off of that and focus all their time and energy into something else. Even if it would be something as financially non-lucrative, such as like driving Uber or Lyft. but even if you're doing that while doing Airbnb and you can justify it with like an electric car or something, the opportunities to make money they are bountiful in the States, and especially if you're a skilled worker, because I see there's less and less skilled workers. I see a lot of people driving Uber. I kind of feel guilty using Uber a lot because I know it's like a bad deal for the drivers, but that's capitalism for you. But here, man, there's a lot of opportunity here. And if you can corner the market, right? And for you guys living in like Texas, North Carolina, South Carolina, some parts of Georgia, there's a large amount of choice out there. But the opportunities that are in America are endless, dude. Even if you have to go back to school for like 3 years, 4 years, right? Well, let's say 5 years, and you have to economically kind of grind for 5 years, the amount of financial rewards you can collect after that, because there's so few people in America doing actual skilled labor from what I've been seeing. Like, America is the largest economy in the world. They have to realize that. And there are opportunities here. It's just, are you qualified or do you have the skills? Because if you can have the skills, I mean, you will literally not have to worry about money at all. So that's what I've noticed there.